Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live and Crypto Corner. Today, we are digging into the intense battle for attracting developers. When it comes to NFTs, of course, non-fungible tokens have really exploded here in 2021. And each network is trying to attract talent to build on their own network. We've seen that with Solana, Avalanche, Ethereum, obviously catching a lot of the early attention here through OpenSea, the platform that a lot of people have turned to build NFTs. But now Polygon Studios really stepping up their game as well, offering $100 million to game developers to come over and build on them. And for more on that push, happy to bring on two people from Polygon Studios here. We got Jonathan Glick, Polygon Studios advisor and Ball Metaverse research co-founder, as well as Shreyansh Singh, Polygon Studios head, here with us too. And Shreyansh, I'll start with you because, when we're talking about what's going on here, it is interesting to see kind of the effort in attracting developers because it's so early on in NFTs. But talk to me about what you've seen in the early efforts to kind of get Polygon Studios out there.
So Polygon is actually, Polygon is the blockchain and Polygon Studios is the NFT and gaming arm of Polygon. So we launched this effort sometime in August. So the plan was to, because the industry was definitely looking towards the NFT and gaming space that was popping up, and everyone, all the brands and all the major game developers are looking at the space. So this is a more consolidated effort towards this. So we can focus majorly on Web2 because Web2 space is the largest space, and all the major Web3 gaming projects were already on Polygon. And when the brands came in and everything, so they needed that sort of a support as well, like hand-holding how other regulations work, where to get started. So that sort of a hand-holding, that's where Polygon Studios stepped in.
Yeah, and Jonathan, we've seen a lot of people kind of focus in on this space. You're a former SVP of Product and Tech at the New York Times. You've obviously been working on a lot of the technology behind some of this for a while. Talk to me about what you've seen, I guess, in terms of people trying to wrap their heads around what it means and how to build it correctly.
Right. Well, when we talk about blockchain games or Web3 gaming, there's a really important breakthrough that is being enabled by these technologies, and that is the ability of players to actually own the assets that they have within these games. This is a dramatic change from the tradition of video gaming, where if you bought a skin, for example, or a gun or something, depending on the game, that would be fundamentally embedded in and owned by the developer. It would be owned by the company. But in the context of the blockchain, because users are sovereign, you can actually take an asset from one place and move it to another. So you could, for example, play in a game, develop some special asset or win that asset, and then take it to OpenSea and sell it. We call this phenomenon play to earn, and it's a radical departure from the tradition of video games, while being consistent with exactly what players want.
And then, sir, I want to ask you how much, I'll address this to Shreyansh if I can. How crowded is the NFT space right now? Because we even saw, recently Toys R Us just announced that they are getting into the digital asset market as well. Have we reached its sort of peak? Is it saturated, or is there still so much room to run? For example, in the fashion world, I know you partnered with Dolce & Gabbana as well. Are there many more opportunities that just haven't been touched on yet?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is just the start. And like the brands have started now, the Web2 game developers will definitely are deep diving into the space. And pretty much we'll see in the coming years, we'll see a chief NFT officer in all the major Web2 megacorps as well. So everyone will be implementing NFTs in somehow in supply chain and different various departments of finance. It will be everywhere. So in some words, yeah. And so I'm saying, like NFTs will be like the Trojan horse for Web2.
It's clearly brought a lot of interest into the space, and we've seen that with Facebook, or maybe I should say Meta now. And Jonathan, you also work on the advisory team for the Roundhill Ball Metaverse ETF. That's the one that actually has the ticker Meta. I don't know if Facebook was mad about that one, and the guys beat him to the punch. But obviously, the idea of the Metaverse even comes from another man who's been joining the Polygon Studios team there in Matthew Ball. Talk to me about kind of the intensity in terms of all these companies. In the ETF I was looking at, it's interesting to see NVIDIA. We were talking with them earlier this week about their big push. Even heard Disney CEO Bob Chapek talking about their push into the metaverse potentially. What's it going to take to actually get it done in the way that people are showing it? because I can't even get my iCloud to pair with a new phone and get the messages working. So it seems like we got a long ways to go.
We do have a long ways to go. The technology is it's difficult, it's nascent, and in many cases we haven't really established what the primary use cases are going to be. So, when people ask us, how far out is the metaverse? I think a 10-year horizon is logical. Or to put it in sort of internet terms, imagine we're standing in, approximately 1995, looking ahead to the 2005 breakthrough that would be all of the social networks, all of the new mobile phone technologies, and all of the world that would be created around those things. 10 years is a realistic time frame.
That is comforting to hear, because we keep hearing about, oh, it's coming, but 10 years, all right, that means we got some time to get used to it and catch up to what we're hearing. But appreciate you guys coming on here. Jonathan Glick, Polygon Studios advisor, and Shreyansh Singh, Polygon Studios head. Thanks again for the time, gentlemen. Want to have you back when we get closer to the promised land. Thanks again.